In 1965, Singapore was poor, tiny, and its economy had collapsed. It could barely get by. No army, no resources, and it even relied on Malaysia for water. Then one man stepped in and changed everything. Today, it's one of the richest and most advanced nations in the world. This is how Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from one of the poorest countries to a first-world nation. Singapore wasn't supposed to get ahead. It had just been kicked out of Malaysia. Its GDP per capita was less than $500. It relied on British troops for security and Malaysia for water. The city was overcrowded and filthy. Slums lined the streets. Unemployment was rampant. There were no factories, no real industry, and no natural resources to export. Most of the world simply didn't get behind it. But Lee Kuan Yew didn't give up. He became Prime Minister in 1959 and declared, "I am determined that Singapore will survive." He knew the country had to get rid of corruption and failure, or it wouldn't last. He started by building a government people could trust. Corruption was crushed. Ministers were paid well to avoid bribery. He created a merit-based civil service that ran like a corporation. Then he got down to creating jobs. Lee realized Singapore had one resource: its people. So he opened the country to foreign investment. Global companies like HP and Shell got into Singapore, setting up factories and offices. To attract investors, Lee made it easy to do business. Low taxes, no red tape, world-class infrastructure. Stability became Singapore's biggest selling point. Lee knew how to get around obstacles and make things happen. Education was rebuilt from the ground up. Lee introduced English as the main language to connect Singapore to global markets. He built schools, technical institutes, and universities. He worked hard to get across the idea that education was key to progress. Today, Singapore ranks among the best educated countries in the world. Housing was a crisis. Most people lived in overcrowded slums. Lee launched the Housing Development Board, HDB. It took years to get through the housing shortage, but by the 1980s, over 80% of citizens owned clean, affordable homes. Singapore didn't even have its own water. Lee focused on survival. He built reservoirs, invested in water recycling, and signed long-term water deals. Singapore eventually got over its dependency and now exports water tech globally. He also turned Singapore into a global financial hub. Banks flooded in. Strong laws, political stability, and smart regulation built trust. Singapore found a way to get ahead in the global economy. Today, it rivals New York, London, and Hong Kong. Lee ruled with an iron grip. He enforced strict laws and controlled the press. Critics called it authoritarian. He called it necessary. Between 1965 and 1990, Singapore's GDP per capita jumped from $500 to over $14,000. Today, it's over $80,000, higher than the US, Japan, and most of Europe. An economic miracle. Lee stepped down in 1990, but remained a mentor until his death in 2015. His vision, values, and discipline still get across in every part of Singaporean life today. It's clean, rich, safe, and globally respected. He didn't just lead Singapore, he built it from nothing. With no oil, no land, and no friends, just brains, grit, and the will to get ahead. This is how Lee Kuan Yew turned a struggling island into a first-world nation, and proved that leadership can get through anything, and change the fate of an entire country. This is a video by CK English. Please like and subscribe to watch more videos like this one. There is a link to an English exercise about phrasal verbs that include the word get in the video description.